What a cracker of a test match between England and India, or should I say India and England for Sunil Gavaskar. I will come back to this point. But first, BAZBALL's done it again. Congratulations to England on an emphatic chase on day 5. Fourth innings, chasing down 371 in style. Ben Duckett and Crawley, who were beautifully undone by Bumrah in the first innings, never went on back foot against Bumrah and Siraj in the second, putting up a huge opening partnership, laying the foundation for Stokes, for Root, and Smith to steer to victory. This is extraordinary, considering at one point in the test match, it looked like the test was moving towards a draw. But on day 3 and day 4, it was anyone's game. England's batting ensured they go up 1 in the Anderson-Tendulkar Trophy. We saw a total of 7 centuries in both innings by Rishabh Pant, Harry Brook getting out at 99, a 5-wicket haul by Bumrah, a magnificent catch by Oli Pope, somersaults by Pant. I mean, this test was action-packed. It was nonetheless interesting to see the hits and misses of both sides, especially for India, who were without their usual stars in the shape of Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, and Ashwin, all who've dominated the world of cricket for quite some time. For England, it was also different not to see Jimmy Anderson be part of the usual English bowling lineup in the first test of the summer. Jofra Archer wasn't there, but they've got Ben Stokes, and he brought nothing less than his A-game. And not to forget Joe Root, whose calm and collected demeanor ensures he'll end up on the winning side more often than not. Root's now just 200-something runs behind Rahul Dravid when it comes to highest number of test runs and can achieve them in the series, no doubt. Harry Brook was unlucky, though, to fall on 99, but he played beautifully, attacking Bumrah and all the bowlers. He was lucky, though, as there were some drop catches, but that didn't stop him from playing his usual way. He absolutely deserved to reach 100 at his home ground. If it had gone India's way, England would have looked at their bowling, which could improve. Their pacers were good in spells, but not consistent, especially in the first innings. Ben Stokes did quite a bit of the heavy work, bowling a lot of overs, and also provided key breakthroughs on day 1 and day 2. They can probably afford to introduce Jofra Archer later in the series, depending on his fitness as a result of this win. But when it comes to the spin department, Bashir was able to get most out of the wicket on day 4, but overall went for plenty of runs, and he was belted by Rishabh Pant. For India, some reflection is needed, especially after posting over 800 runs containing 5 centuries and still ending up on the losing side. Karun Nair and Sai Sudarshan weren't able to contribute. England had 2 centuries and Harry Brook getting out on 99, but the key difference between England and India was partnerships, whether it was lower order batting of Carson and Wokes in the first innings or middle order contributions by Jamie Smith, adding 40-odd runs in both innings. India, on the other hand, had 3 batters going out on ducks in both innings and a total of 6 batters contributing in single digits only in both innings. Also, there were a number of drop catches, especially in the slip cordon, which was not an issue when Sharma and Kohli were in the side. When it comes to Indian bowling, there is just a huge amount of reliance on Bumrah, and the lack of support for him is crystal clear. This is becoming all too predictable about India now, and England was able to plan for it, ensuring that they just see off spells from Bumrah. India struggled with providing a handy partner to Bumrah during the Border Gavaskar Trophy as well, and probably lost the Sydney Test because Bumrah couldn't return to bowl. It is clear that the absence of an attacking bowler like Mohammad Shami is hurting Bumrah and the Indian bowling. Krishna and Thakur were not attacking. Siraj was overall disappointing. Jadeja, being a senior player, also went for plenty of runs and didn't seem to cause much trouble to English batters on day 5. In addition, India's lower order batting collapses in both innings is definitely something to address before the next test match. They don't have someone like Ashwin anymore who can contribute with the bat. Probably going with Nitesh Kumar Reddy, who scored a century, I think, in Australia, would be someone to consider. There were a lot of positives for India in this test match, though. I'm going to start with Rishabh Pant with his astonishing batting style, breaking all sorts of records and providing the crowd their money's worth of entertainment. From someone who couldn't walk on 2 feet after a tragic accident a few years ago, to be able to score back-to-back centuries while somersaulting through the celebrations is nothing short of magnificent. Those who witnessed his century in the second innings would have noticed that the first 50 runs or so of it were slow and steady, but then there was no stopping after he reached his 50. Sunil Gavaskar wanted Pant to do another somersault, but it doesn't matter what Gavaskar says now. Gavaskar Whether he says stupid or he says superb. I mean, come on now. Criticizing the order the trophy was named, saying that it shouldn't be called Anderson-Tendulkar Trophy, but rather be the Tendulkar-Anderson Trophy, because Sachin has achieved way more than Jimmy in his career, is probably an all-time low for Gavaskar. And he's criticizing the very series he's commentating in. I mean, where's the mute button when you need one, right? And while I'm at it, we have the ICC chairman, Jay Shah, in the era of hero worship, being in multiple frames of the World Test Championship final video, to the point it felt like he was part of the playing 11. The video had more slow motion clips of Jay Shah than Markram, Bavuma, or Rabada combined, guys who actually played and won the game. And I know I've gone off on a tangent here, but to have Jay Shah actually doing a collaboration post on this video, I mean, how many of us even knew the name of the previous ICC chairman, Greg Barkley? And now you have Gavaskar criticizing the mere order the trophy has been named. Someone please stop folks like these from ruining Test cricket. Anyhow, back to the Test match and the positives from India's perspective. Day one belonged to India, and while the talk of the town was about how India would be without Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, Jaiswal, Gill, and Pant didn't make anyone feel their absence from the first session. England put India to bat thinking they didn't want Bumrah to start firing from the get-go, but the pitch, the weather, I don't know, everything changed and it became quite comfortable to bat. Jaiswal's batting was beautiful, attacking and nicely paced, and although he didn't tickle the scorecard much in the second innings, he is on his way to becoming a world-class player, and what a time for him to do so. A century in the first test against Australia, now a century in the first test in England. His confidence in novel situations in Sina countries is wonderful to witness. He just needs to work on his fielding a little. Shubman Gill also slid smoothly into the all-important number 4 batting position, taking over from Virat Kohli. What an achievement to score 100 in your first test as a captain. Tough luck for him that the results of the test match didn't go his way, but when you have a list of drop catches and bowlers not attacking, then it's a tall task to climb. I do want to take a moment to talk about Rahul. If you have already seen my videos from the Border Gavaskar Trophy, you will see that I had nothing but praises for him. Rahul's selection was criticized in the Border Gavaskar Trophy, but he proved to be the only Indian batter to consistently look ahead of the Australian bowlers. Not the best of averages, and although falling short of reaching a 50 in the first innings, he added almost a 200 runs partnership with Pant in the second innings, without which, and especially with the lower batting order collapse, India wouldn't have posted much of a lead to threaten England in this test match. Rahul's batting, his grit, his grind, his temperament makes him absolutely wonderful to watch. And I love how he has quietly cemented himself in the 11 without much of that hype, God complex, or star power that is usually found in Indian cricket, which is a breath of fresh air, if you ask me. I think the future test matches, especially the ones at Lord's, will be testing for Jaiswal and Pant. And as I mentioned already, India would need to strengthen their lower order batting quickly, and would also need to think about when to rest Bumrah, as being 2 down would be a hard task to climb. That's it for now. Do share your thoughts with me in the comments, and I shall see you in my next video. Until then, take care.